welcome back to step number 4. So far we've covered the instruments, the sitting position, being comfortable, the basic rock pattern, which is a huge part of beginner drums. We've talked about internalising all the sound and trying to start in time and stop in time. So step number 4 is going to be about variation. So variation means changing things around, adding things, taking things away. So let's get started. Okay, so at this point we're going to introduce some really basic music notation. We don't need to be able to read music to follow this. In fact, what you'll find is that once you've followed it, you'll have a good chance of being able to read music. So we'll learn as we go along. So I'm just going to show you the notation for 4 hi-hats. So next is the notation for 4 hi-hats with 1 bass drum at the beginning. Now we're going to add the snare drum and we'll see the notation for 4 hi-hats with a bass on number 1 and a snare on the 3rd hi-hat. Great, so now you can see the pattern that you've been practicing and the pattern that you can play. So as I said, variation is when we add things and we change things around. So the first variation is going to be adding a bass drum onto the 2nd hi-hat. Okay, so the next bit of the video is going to be a few variations for the bass drum and maybe for the snare drum as well. So we've got a variation with the bass drum on the 2nd hi-hat. Okay, now we're going to take that bass drum off the 2nd hi-hat and we're going to put it on the 4th hi-hat. So we have one on the 1st hi-hat and we have one on the 4th hi-hat. So this is what that would sound like. Right, so I'm going to vary the snare drum next. So the snare drum belongs on the 3rd hi-hat. I'm going to add one onto the 4th hi-hat. I'm going to keep the bass drum on the 1st one and keep that nice and simple. So we've added a snare drum on the 4th hi-hat and it will sound like this. Okay, at this point, hopefully you can understand the notation quite well. I think it's quite straightforward. So in addition to this video, we can attach a PDF for you to see some patterns and for you to have a go at. So don't forget, this can be done without a drum kit. You can sit on the sofa with your cushion. If you've got sticks, great, but if you don't, you've got your hands and you can tap through. It's muscle memory, it's coordination, and now it's following those patterns. So here's a few examples. Okay, well done. If you followed all that, that's great. I think we're doing really well. We can also extend the notation into 2 blocks. So instead of it just being 1 group of 4, we can have 2 groups of 4. And that gives us more space and more time to vary things around. So here are a few examples of 8 hi-hats with varying bass drums and snare drums in different places. Here we go. great, well done. So it's worth mentioning that you can watch this video back as many times as you like. You can practice along to it. You can use the patterns on screen for you to try and practice those. You can make your own patterns up. You can draw them out on paper and you can try them at the drum kit. Lots of opportunity there, so well done.